Welcome everybody to another podcast. This is Houston Haitians United. My name is Jean-Michel Celestin. Tonight or today is going to be a great show. We're going to get to introduce to you our interim president, Shirley Leno. I'm sure you guys have heard of her before and have seen the great works that she's done. So it's a great pleasure for us to bring her to you today on this podcast, our second podcast. And so this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a very good show for you where we talk about immigrations, and we're going to cover a lot of the questions that people have about the concerns that are going on right now. So we're looking forward to a great conversation today. So guys, what do you think about this show and our new president?
Well, first and foremost, I'm very excited to have Shirley back. If a lot of you guys don't know, Shirley served as the president of HHU back in 2021 and COVID. She was here for us during the earthquake, during the migrant crisis. We're very happy to have Shirley. She's a strong leader. She's a very impressive young lady, and we're so glad to have her back.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have Shirley back because she's an absolutely wonderful leader and a wonderful listener. The community loves her and her leadership, and she definitely does great things and will definitely help us continue to move the mission of HHU forward.
Absolutely. So,
wow, I'm just, my heart is full. My goodness.
Yes. No.
Hey, y'all.
Shirley is one of like the guy said. She's one of our really strong candidates that we've had in the past, and so with the new direction that the organization is going, she could not have came at a better time. We got some new structuring that's going to be put in place. So anybody that you've seen in the past, this is now the face of the organization. I know,
no pressure. No.
Oh, shit, come on. If you could go through 2020 during the COVID, this was our president, and come on top, and the organization still in good standing, that speaks volume for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so this is the type of presidency that we like to see with the organization after in our 10th year anniversary. It's important that we have a strong foundation and establish a strong structure for the organization. That's where we're heading. And today's conversation is kind of bring some more informational to the people from the immigration standpoint. Charlie, what do you got to say about that before we exit and let the illegals come in?
Absolutely. I just want to, say thank you to Houston Haitians United. You all are like my family away from home. I moved out here back in 2018 from Florida, and you all have, welcomed me with open arms. Just want to shout out the e-board who served alongside me, Rolanda, Blondine, Tony, thank you. And then Jean-Michel, you're the chairman now,
Yes.
But James, shout out to your leadership because you were my chairman during that time. I also want to take the opportunity to shout out our current e-board and for the work that you all are doing. Shout out to Ami, shout out to Jaxie, and then also shout out to our previous HHU e-board, Harry and No. Thank you all so much. I'm excited. I'm ready to really get into the thick of things. This is something that I'm very passionate about, especially within our community and our friends who are within our community. So let's rock and roll, y'all.
Absolutely. And I don't want to forget about our other very key person, Dorothy, which is our community
Absolutely.
liaison.
Can't forget Dorothy.
So she's definitely out there helping us to helping our organization establish in the city and continue.
Bridging all gaps,
Absolutely.
smoothing all of the kinks, all of it.
Yes, ma'am.
We love you, girl.
So these are the type of people that we bring in, and so this new group that's going to come, the legal team. In addition to, we're also going to have another organization called Fiel. They do a lot in this organization. So we have Alex, who's our legal for HHU, and then we also have Shelly, who is another lawyer within the community that a lot of people know her.
Amazing.
So this is the expert that you're going to have on the show today to answer a lot of the key questions that people are having about what's going on with immigration and what to do. All right, so we're going to break real quickly so we can allow the next team to come in. So please put on your ears, your attentive, your questions that you might have, and because this is going to be very
Keep them rolling.
informational.
We are doing questions as we are doing this.
Yes.
So looking forward to engaging with you all offline as well.
Wonderful. All right, so
As Jean-Michel said earlier, I am your moderator, Shirley, and today we're diving into one of the most pressing and complex issues shaping our nation. We have two immigration attorneys present with us today and an immigration advocate from FIEL. We're so glad that you all are here. They will answer your most pressing questions about TPS, asylum, local resources, work permits, and essentially how to protect your future. So turning over to you all, please introduce yourself and a brief summary of the services you provide. And I know, Alex, you have a special role in HHU.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want to start with me?
Sure.
No problem. I'm Alexandra Coley Kirkland, and I am the pro bono counsel for Houston Haitians United. I've served in this role since I would say 2019.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, what a journey.
It was. Especially during the migration crisis, the Del Rio migrant crisis. Whew, that was a lot.
Whew.
I took on some pro bono cases, and I helped a lot from getting, I got calls even from Haiti.
Yeah,
so it was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, since 2019, I've been an immigration and litigation attorney for about 12 years now. I've served in the nonprofit sector working for KIND, Kids in Need of Defense, and for Catholic charities and law firms. I've always been in immigration. I currently work for the Harris County Public Defender's Office, and I serve in the immigration department. So there, I write Padilla advisals. Padilla is basically advisals to defense attorneys on the immigration consequences their defendants could face if they are convicted of a particular crime or if they face certain charges, and how it could affect them in the future in their immigration process.
Wow.
So that's where I am right now.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
That's Alex, y'all.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm attorney Shelley Simon. I'm an attorney here in the Houston area, and I've been an attorney for about 15, going on 16 years. I have my own law firm. It's the law office of Shelley and Simon, and we serve clients all over the U.S., so we serve all 50 states, not just here in Texas as well. A lot of people have found me online. I'm very active online, letting people know what their rights are, letting immigrants know, what services are available to them, what can they do if ICE comes to their door, things like that, because a lot of people right now are very scared and not knowing what to do. And a lot of people find solace in going online. And so we have been able to put a lot of content out there.
I love your content.
Thank you so much.
It's so informative. I did not go to law school. That is not my ministry. But just the way that you break things down, it's very easy to digest. So
good.
Thank you so much, both of y'all, for the work that you're doing.
Thank you
And
so
I have
much.
to say, I've watched your content too.
Oh,
I follow her on social media.
I love it.
Okay, so good to see y'all.
Yeah, and last but not least.
Yes, I do have to say right after this, I'm going to go watch your content because everybody's it's sold. So my name is Cesar, and I'm executive director of FIEL. FIEL started off in 2007 as a small mutual aid organization, and over the last 18 years, we've grown to be the largest immigrant-led civil rights organization in the state of Texas. So we do advocacy for immigrant students, families. And as John Lewis said, we get into good trouble, necessary trouble. We're busier than ever now, but we're right where we need to be, talking to community, letting folks know about their rights, and more importantly, what they can do to uphold and defend those rights.
Absolutely. And I just want to, shout you all again, because we go way back. When I served, even, working alongside the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, and also late Mayor Sylvester Turner, and his team, Congressman Al Green, all of these individuals, Edward Pollard, who have, just really helped to just drive these initiatives. So thank you all so much for being here. Well,
thank you.
Let's get started.
All right.
The people want to know. So anyone can respond to this. So given the current landscape of immigration right now, as we compare U.S. immigration policies under the Biden administration versus those of the Trump administration, What are the key differences that you all have observed, and how are these shifts impacting our community right now?
There's actually quite a lot of changes. I mean, I'll say some, and I'm sure everyone else can come in as well. But one of the biggest things that we're seeing is that people are much more fearful. I mean, a lot of people, I've talked to clients, they're afraid to go outside. They're literally afraid to go outside of their house. They're not sure, what can I do? Can I go to work? So these are the types of questions that I'll have to answer with clients, whereas I did not see that in the Biden administration. Under the Biden administration, also, we saw some parole or humanitarian programs that were, available, such as TPS or the CNHV program, where certain individuals were allowed to come into the U.S. under a parole. And these type of parole and humanitarian programs are being extinguished. And so we're seeing where, for example, immigrants who have TPS or who have some type of parole, now they're losing their work permit and they're losing their status, and they're in a situation that they haven't been before, because TPS has been around for a while. There's some people who've had TPS for decades. So
Sure.
it's, and they've come to rely on having that status. So we're seeing where a lot of those parole programs are being wiped out, and a lot of people are scared and unsure of what to do. And we didn't really see that under the Biden administration.
In regard,
Ready to take control of your health and feel like your best self? Lycée Wellness is here to help you do just that. With personalized weight loss care, GLP-1 medications like semaglutide, and expert lifestyle guidance tailored for you. Located in the heart of Houston, Lycée Wellness combines science, support, and strategy to help you reach your goals safely and confidently. Book your consultation at lyceewellness.com.
so in regards to immigration, I always describe it as one of the most complex areas of law in the country. And it's so difficult because it changes with each presidential administration. And over the last couple decades, it has shifted in so many different ways. In regards to the difference between Trump and Biden, Trump's initial administration came in with a vengeance against immigrants, and it started off with the Muslim ban. But in regards to immigration during his term, and even in the first year, it dealt with so much that affected humanitarian law, such as asylum, and the administration he brought in with his attorney generals, which started off with Jeff Sessions and ended with Will Barr. And they changed certain case law that was so important to immigrants obtaining asylum. They made it so much more difficult. And he changed the naturalization exam, making it more difficult, increasing the questions. He even changed the application to become a permanent resident, making it so much more vast. Because he was anti-immigration, Biden spent the first half of his presidency fixing and overturning all of that, changing it back to what it was before Trump came into the office. So that shows that the difference in their immigration policies was greatly different. Biden's was more friendly towards immigrants, while Trump's was more anti-immigrant. And then Trump coming back into office, he's super anti-immigrant, and he came back with even more of a vengeance, affecting detention, instilling mandatory detention for most immigrants that commit certain crimes. That wasn't the case prior to. And then just deportations. It's very scary. And as Shelley had previously said, that people are living in fear. They are scared to go anywhere. They fear encounters with ICE. And just the immigration community and the legal community, they're making it so much harder. People believe that immigrants don't have rights. And it's very important that immigrants understand that they do have rights, even if they are undocumented. So that's why we're here to answer questions and clear out some things. And honestly, it is a scary time. And a lot of it is up in the air. We have advocacy groups that are suing, the administration, and then they appeal it. So it's so back and forth, and it's so hard for us to be like, this is what's going to happen, because it can change a couple of months from now.
You know, it's interesting that you said that because, right now I'm sweating right now because literally you just came from the grounds. But just interacting with our community, leaders, and they describe this as a tropical storm.
Yeah.
And it's, we know Haiti, there's a lot of storms and hurricanes that goes through and the fear that comes with it.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Philip, what is happening on the grounds? What are you hearing from the people? What is that experience like?
So I think by the sheer numbers, things have definitely changed. Before, just as Fiel, before January, we would get maybe one deportation call a month, maybe every other month. We were mostly dealing with the USCIS side of things, getting people benefits and things like that. Now we get 15 to 20 calls a day, at the very least, of people getting picked up. Now one of the differences, going back to that topic, is now ICE is just not picking people up. Once they get deportation orders, ICE is physically going out and hunting people on the streets.
Wait. Hunting?
Yes, they go and they pull people over. They go and they knock on random people's doors in states like California. Here in Texas, the governor has set up have money aside for specifically DPS, state troopers, to pull people over, and immediately, without taking people to jail or anything like that, immediately calling ICE, sometimes to the roadside. So that's, things have definitely changed now with this new budget that they passed, the big beautiful bill, which is the ugly bill in my opinion. But the big beautiful bill makes ICE this. If the ICE component of immigration was a military force, it would make it the 16th largest military force in the world. Wow. That's how much money they gave them. And all of this money is basically, they're writing them a blank check to go out and break up families and to detain people and to deport people and things. Now, one of the things that remains the same, because we talked about the differences, one of the things that remains the same is that there's been over 3 decades where we have not had comprehensive immigration reform.
Right.
And things change.
That's a
And
very good point.
they change for the worse, they also change for the better. People are coming, people are working, they're setting roots here, but we have not had an immigration reform bill in over 30 years, and that needs to change. So then that way we can get with the times and be able to provide people a decent and a humanitarian way so that they can live their lives and be part of our community, especially here in Houston.
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
sorry, you said it perfectly, because you said that they're writing a blank check. I actually read that they are offering ICE people to apply for as ICE officers with the Department of Homeland Security, and they're offering salaries of up to $124,000 to $300,000 for the supervisors. But we went to look on usajobs.gov, because I'm like, that can't be true. Working for the federal government, they have caps on salaries, even for attorneys. Because I actually, I was going to be a trial attorney for the Department of Homeland Security. No, I'm not a sellout, but I wanted to see what kind of difference I could make working on that end, And the attorney salaries are capped. But for them to be paying ICE officers that much money, and that's not even offered to many of the attorneys that work for the Department of Homeland Security, that's incentive to add more to the hunt.
Interesting.
And coincidentally, the education requirements for them are almost non-existent.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
these are
bare
people,
minimum.
and we have 2 expert attorneys here, and I'll ask them: is immigration law complex? And
It's
can
very
you
complex.
hand it off to an officer in the side of the street?
No, and they don't know immigration law
exactly.
like that.
No, a lot of them don't. But
Yeah.
I also wanted to add, one of the reasons that we see more of the enforcement is because there's a statute that was in place for expedited removal that has been expanded.
Yep.
So typically expedited removal was just at the border, but now it has been expanded to the interior. And that is because there was a law that the Trump administration basically they started putting it into place, and it was that bill was written, I believe, in 1996. So it hadn't actually been activated until now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so because of that, and because it's happening on the interior, they are now able to remove people without having to see a judge if they have been here for the less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Now they've expanded that to even some people who have been here probably 20 years or more by the way that they're interpreting how long that they have been here. And so the expedited removal, the way that they are interpreting it, is to where they can instantly just sweep up anybody. They can go back to, for example, removal orders that were dismissed, and then they can reinstate them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then try to deport people that way. So some of these people have been here for decades, have families here, maybe married to U.S. citizens, have U.S. citizen grandchildren, and you've probably even seen it on the news where people who, have U.S. citizen children have still been swept up with all of this.
We have a question about that, too.
Yeah, so I think that's also what he was saying, where they have that authority now, because before you had the police and you had ICE. The police weren't ICE. You had, you went to court if you were going for a divorce or you were going for an immigration hearing. You were not expecting to, run into ICE because they were separate, and they just didn't have the money to make it to where, the police could turn into ICE agents, so to speak. But now, with the One Big Beautiful Bill, they are having the money and the resources to give to the police, to give to new ICE agents, to where they can be at the courthouse, they can be at USCIS, they can go to your home, they can go to the school, they can go to the hospital, they can go pretty much anywhere they want, and they can pretty much use anything they want that's publicly available as far as data to find you. And I think that's also what he was referring to as sort of hunting you down, because it's just not operating in the way that it had been in the past.
And it doesn't, I'm so sorry, but it also doesn't help that we have a governor.
I have to the next question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying, it doesn't help that we have a governor that leans more so on
Which
the side.
governor?
Abbott. Yes. Abbott. That leans more so towards the what Trump's administration stands for, because the bills that come across Texas legislature and we have to advocate against are even more strict and stringent than the Trump administration, because Abbott was trying to pass a bill that mandated that everyone pretty much act as ICE agents. So it's so much that the Trump administration and just what he stands for in regards to immigration that allows for other people to hop on the bandwagon with, when they previously faced opposition. It's kind of giving them permission and leeway to go even harder because they have the support of an administration such as Trump's.
Tachaje. So we've all heard the stories, and you all were talking about ICE. This is a great transition for this next question. So ICE knocks on someone's door early in the morning, or they go to their workplace. What are their rights when dealing with ICE, whether it's at home, at work, or even on the street?
I think the most important right that people have, and I, my wife will tell you that I'm guilty of not keeping my mouth shut a lot of the time, but we want everybody to stay quiet, everybody to not answer questions. And in the state of Texas, the only thing for especially for law enforcement, the only thing you're required to get by law is your full legal name and your date of birth. Other than that, if they want to ask you questions about your immigration status, where you're coming from, where you're going, did you run the dog over 2 miles ago? You should just not answer anything, and definitely not consent to any searches or seizures, because once you open that Pandora's box, then you're giving these folks that the thing that they say on TV, anything you say can and will be used against you. That's very, very true, and you don't want to give them anything to use against you. So we ask everybody to stay quiet. I know it's stressful times. I still get paranoid when I get pulled over by a police officer, but I try to remain calm, keep my hands where they can be seen, and not answer any more questions than what I'm required by law.
Yeah, so Cesar said, you don't have to open the door for ICE. You can remain quiet. And you have the right also to ask for them to give a warrant. Okay, if they have a warrant, then they do have the right to come in. Okay, but if they don't, then they don't. So a lot of times ICE doesn't have a warrant or it's not properly signed. It needs to be signed by a judge or magistrate. So if ICE just signed it themselves and they maybe slipped it under the door, you pulled it and looked at it and you saw that it wasn't signed by a judge or magistrate, you don't have to open the door.
So a warrant has to be signed by a judge or a
Magistrate.
okay.
Before that is actually a legal document for them to come in. Okay, so otherwise you don't have to. Actually, I had a client call me and said, ICE is at my door and, I'm not there, but my son is there. What do we do? You don't have to open the door. And they actually didn't, and ICE ended up leaving. So, some of it is, well, we don't have the right documents to go and pick people up, but we're going to try what we can. And if you don't know your rights, then they can get in.
So, Alex, I have a question for you. There's often confusion about what documents immigrants should keep on them at all times. Can you clarify what's smart to carry, like an ID, a passport, work permit? Just anything.
So it's always smart if you do have a work permit, and then through that work permit you are able to get an ID or a driver's license. Always carry around identification. Carrying around your passport is a form of identification, but it also gives probable cause to an ICE officer or a police officer to state that you don't have legal status in the United States.
Does that mean like it's an unnecessary risk?
Carrying a passport?
Yeah.
But it's also their only form of identification.
Okay.
But technically, if they are stopped even for a traffic violation, they're asked for identification, and that's the only type of identification they have. And
Are you hot? Because it's hot in this city. This city is hot. Is your AC running proper? Well, you might need to get P-Air LLC a call. Call the pros at P-Air LLC HVAC, your trusted expert in air conditioning, water heaters, ductwork with over 20 years of experience, keeping homes and businesses comfortable year-round. Right now, take advantage of their $40 tune-up special to keep your system running smoothly. And if you need a full replacement, ask about the all-in-one stage unit that they're offering starting at $6,500 with financing available. Call them today. Their number is 281-209-5434, or even visit them online at www.pairr.net. Proudly serving Houston and surrounding areas. PARR LLC, cool when it's hot, warm when it's not. Get in contact with them, Baskeli Show they are. And it's hot outside. Join them.
So ICE detainers have to justify the reason for that allows the ICE agent to arrest the immigrant, and it has to be because they interviewed that immigrant and they stated that they were not a citizen and they had no legal status in the United States, and that's the probable cause for the arrest. So ICE officers still have to have probable cause to arrest an immigrant, and it's stated in the ICE detainer. So if they don't have proper identification that indicates that they do have legal status in the United States, then that that allows them to arrest that immigrant. So if they only have a passport, they don't have any proof of any type of legal status in the United States.
So, Shelley, for our community who may not speak English or can't read English, what are your recommendations, as far as documents and also with the warrants, if, it is signed by a judge or magistrate?
Right. So if you don't understand or speak English, but you ask for them to, many times they will have someone there who speaks your language. If they're coming if ICE is with you, some of those agents will speak Spanish. I am not sure about Creole. Is
that something that is in our control? Maybe I'm opening a can of worms here, but, is it something where they could say, well, I don't speak English, I need a Creole interpreter, or is that something that is within their
Perhaps
rights?
they could. I don't know about if they would be mandated to give you somebody who speaks in your language.
Okay.
I don't know about that. But if you did know enough English to ask to see the search warrant, at least maybe learn that, let me see it, or, I don't want to, I'm reserving my Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights to remain silent. But if you did ask for them to slip it under their door and you picked it up, you don't really understand English, you can look for your name. It
Look for
should
your
have your
name.
name on there.
Okay.
Okay. And you should look also to see if it was signed and see if you could make out if it was signed by a judge or a magistrate, or if it was just signed by an ICE officer. So that's some ways that you would be able to tell if that search warrant was actually legitimate or not. Just look for your name. It should have your name on it if it's a legitimate search warrant.
And there is
and,
something I was going to
yeah.
ask. Do you guys do red cards?
We do have red cards, yes.
Okay,
At our
perfect.
organization,
Yeah.
we do have red cards.
Yeah.
They're in English because that's what we expect for you to give the officers.
Yeah.
And that basically states
Yeah.
your right to remain silent, things like that. But regardless of what language you speak, regardless of what language you can or cannot understand, staying quiet is probably your best bet. That's something that, and very important also, is to not sign anything that you cannot
Exactly.
understand. And let me tell you where we're all guilty of that. We all have iPads, we all have cell phones, and when we want to get to those beautiful filters on Instagram, we say, yes, 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 yes. Take me, do you have permission to use my camera? We say yes. And then what happens is we do not know what rights we're actually giving up when we say that. So let's internalize that and treat immigration the same way. Don't sign anything because we do not know what we're getting into, and we could very well be signing our deportation order. So really important, regardless of what language, make sure that you ask or you get an attorney to be able to represent you well and in your language.
And even if they don't have an attorney, and I've had this so many clients, they felt forced to sign.
Yes.
No one's going to force you.
No.
Just say you're not signing it.
Yes.
No matter
Simple,
what.
just simple
I'm
as
not
that.
signing it. And I always tell my clients, don't sign it. If you don't understand it, if they're saying you don't have a right to a lawyer, that's not true. Don't sign anything.
Correct.
Because a lot of time they're signing their deportation.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
That's true.
So another question that we have for you all, for someone who has just arrived and is seeking asylum, what happens next? What should they expect from their first court hearing? What are recommendations on how they can best prepare if they don't have legal representation yet?
Yeah, so it depends. Like if they're coming into they're crossing the border, coming to the United States. I do believe they have to go through a credible fear interview, and if they don't pass that credible fear interview, then they're not going to be able to seek asylum, or they may ask them to remain in Mexico or to remain outside of the United States. It's becoming increasingly difficult to ask for asylum. And, there are a lot of people who have asked for asylum, for example, and maybe they've been here for like a decade. They've been here for many years. But now there are people who are getting arrested, at the asylum interview, or it's just becoming more difficult to ask for asylum. Now, asking for asylum is, crossing the border and asking for asylum is not a crime. People think that, they came here and they asked for asylum, that's a crime. It's not a crime. It's a right to be able to ask for asylum. And, coming in and overstaying, that's something civil. It's actually not criminal to do that. And so a lot of people think like, you're illegal, or they think they put you in the category of being a criminal if you've overstayed, when that's really not the case. And that's why I prefer to refer to undocumented people as undocumented versus they are illegal.
Yes.
Because we try to kind of dehumanize people when you just say they're an illegal, not knowing that they have the right to ask for asylum. So it is increasingly difficult. The laws are getting very complicated when it comes to asylum. And so I would say, do what you can. My whole thing with talking to immigrants and potential clients is you're going to be safer if you have some type of relief or you have something that your attorney can use to help you. If for some reason you are detained, okay, and you have no process in place, what can we use to get you out?
So you have to prepare, you have to plan. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, you have to plan, you have to prepare, and also you have to take a step of trying to see if there's anything else that you can get. So I understand that for a lot of people, maybe they lost TPS and they no longer have legal status here in the United States, and they're saying, well, what can I do now? Is there anything else that I qualify for? Speak to an attorney. If you don't have the money for an attorney, there are many advocate groups, or you can go to, maybe like a Catholic Charities or something that does pro bono legal services.
I'll ask you something about
yes,
that. Yes,
absolutely. And, do something to see what else you may be able to qualify for. Because if you can qualify for some sort of status and we get something going for you and you have some paperwork pending, then we may be able to help you if and when you get detained. Okay, so it's a matter of preparation in that respect to see, is there anything that I could qualify for?
So during Trump 1.0, we had these massive forums where we would ask people to, hey, come for free, listen to an attorney, have consultations afterwards. And what we found out was that about 30% of people qualify for something that they didn't even know about. But folks in our community treat immigration insurance like they do doctors. To not hear the bad news, they'd rather not go. And then what happens is that the problem gets worse and worse and worse. And then by the time they may see an immigration attorney, it may be too late. And so that's really important. Now, on the terms of planning, you brought up an incredible, interesting point earlier that we've been using. When we tell people immigration, deportation is like a hurricane. We don't want it to hit us. We when it comes our way, we hope that it goes another way. But what do? We get ready. We buy water. We buy food. We buy toilet paper here in Houston. I don't know why, but people do that. But we hope it never happens. But if it does, we need to be ready. So financial planning, getting an attorney, talking to your kids, preparing is such an important part of what's happening right now. And the time to look for an attorney is not Googling while you're already getting taken away and looking for the first attorney that pops up on Google. It's going and having consultations and getting all of that stuff straightened out before you're in the actual thick of it.
So Alex, I know there are some immigrants who, let's take a step back, undocumented. Thank you. Missed their court date. Simply because they didn't receive the notice or it came late or maybe they're scared. What happens then? And is there a way to, fix that?
So when an immigrant misses their court date, the immigration judge immediately enters a order of removal. And it's called an order of removal in absentia, and it's because the alien failed or the immigrant failed to appear to the hearing. Now, this can be reopened by an immigration attorney, or if you have a family member that's well educated in the legal process, they can file a motion to reopen your case with the immigration court, but that's only valid for certain reasons. No notice is a reason, or exceptional circumstances, which is majority of the reasons why these motions are filed. It's very important, and I know that there's a fear in attending immigration hearings, and up until Trump 2.0, I liked how you referred to that, Trump 2.0, it was safe to appear into your immigration hearings. But now you have ICE officers appearing in the immigration court to arrest immigrants who are showing up to their hearing. So I understand that fear. Honestly, and just bottom line, a lot of people come to the United States for a better life. And that should be a reason to come to. We should have open doors for that, because that's how this country was colonized, for a better life. But it's not like that anymore. And you have to have a reason for coming to the United States. But that's what humanitarian forms of relief are for, like asylum, TPS, VAWA. You can U visas, T visas. You can apply from your country and come in as a refugee. So, and that's under asylum purposes, you know? So, but you always have to have a reason, and waiting to the last minute, like when you commit a crime and then there's an ICE detainer for you, oh, you need an immigration attorney now. But you've already added to the difficulty of your immigration case by adding a conviction or a potential charge, or unlawful reentry. You've been deported once and then you come back again illegally. That adds to the difficulty of your immigration case. Or you've left the country after being here for an amount of time, and there's proof of that second of your presence here, and then a second reentry. That's a civil action in federal court, you know, and that can. So it's just so much that happens. And that's why it's important I understand the dire circumstances when you're fleeing certain circumstances in your country to come to better circumstances in the United States. And it's the last thing in your mind to hire an immigration attorney to help you through the process. But like it was stated, there are nonprofit organizations and advocacy groups that help you and try to get you situated legally. And there's a difference when you are caught at the border versus when you enter without any type of interaction with ICE. So any type of action that you're filing is going to be affirmative, because you don't have to do it in immigration court. But if you're caught by ICE and they place you in removal proceedings, then everything that you're doing is defensive, you know? So, and an attorney is going to explain these differences to you.
So you brought up an interesting point, because HHU, the migrant crisis, and, fast forward to now, many of them, have work permits, and they need that for survival. So if your work permit expires or you lose your job while you're on temporary immigration status, what protections do you have? What options do you all have? Or what options do they have, rather?
If they lose their job, as the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, the TPS is not, you don't have to, it's not reliant on your job. I mean, you can go get another job and then continue your status. The work permit is just an addition to having the temporary, the deferred action, or the deferral from deportation. But folks should try to take care of it. The other really important piece of information, going back to what the attorney was saying, is that, you don't have to be the perfect immigrant, but right now, specifically right now, try to stay, as clean, as clear, as, even be careful who you're hanging out with. You'd be surprised at how many cases we have of people that were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, hanging out with the wrong person. And so, when my mama used to tell me, don't hang out with that person because that person is bad news, she was kind of right. Right. So right now is the time to listen to her inner moms or inner dads or inner people, and try to stay, as far away from doing anything bad as physically possible. That doesn't mean don't live your life also, because the other extreme is like what the attorney was saying, that we have people that call our office and say, I need groceries. I haven't gone out in a month, and I ran out of groceries, and I'm just so afraid to go. Don't. It's not. You got to find balance, but you're okay to go to the store probably, but you're not okay to be out at 4 a.m. drinking and driving.
Right.
You gotta live so in the middle.
Absolutely.
So important.
So this brings me to my next question with work, employer versus employee rights. As far as ICE, if ICE were to show up, work permits, there's so many nuances within that. What's your recommendations on, because we have business owners in our community, how do we navigate that?
Yeah, I had actually a business owner call me and ask me if she should go to work, because she noticed that ICE was going through her area where she worked and asking for papers. And she was asking me, what do I do? And I said, well, your process hasn't been started yet. So there really isn't, if they were to take you, like, there's nothing in place right now, because she had recently signed on as a client. And so sometimes you're going to have to use your best judgment and common sense. If ICE is going to be a certain place, maybe don't go to that place. And even if it is at your job, it is a very hard thing to navigate. I can't really tell you don't pick up your kid, or, don't go to church, or don't go to work, because people have to live. I understand that. So what happens if you don't have your work permit? Then what do I do? I think try to follow the laws the best that you can. Okay, so you're going to still perhaps live your life until maybe you may be waiting for a process to come through. You may have filed for something, but you don't have a receipt notice. Receipt notices are taking months now instead of weeks like they used to. That's another big change that we're seeing with this new administration. And so, you're going to have to try your best to cope with how things are, the reality of how things are, and try to seek resources and try to seek ways of see if there's anything you qualify for. Okay, there's so many people that are actually U.S. citizens and they don't know it. Yeah. I've met with people that are U.S. citizens and they didn't know. Just seek advice.
Yes. I was talking to Nikki about this very interesting conversation on self-deportation. And I believe countries like Brazil has opened their doors for Haitians on humanitarian visas. Do you all think that's an option that, our community friends can consider?
I think. Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say, and just based off of my experience dealing with the Del Rio crisis, because a lot of the Haitians came from South America, and they were in Chile, and they were in Brazil, and they did offer programs and residency to the Haitians, but they experienced so much there, a lot of, and that. So then it turned out that not only they couldn't, because it was a third country, the country that they stopped in after leaving Haiti, they couldn't seek asylum, not just from Haiti, but from that South American country, because they faced so much racism, discrimination, and a lot of difficulty there. So while it's very beautiful that these countries are offering these programs, they're not exactly making it as welcoming for them to continue to stay, which is why they still migrated to the United States, and I had a lot of pro bono clients that were in Brazil and they were in Chile, and there was another country, but it was mostly Chile and Brazil that they were coming from. And so those are options, but it's how they make the best. If they want to the living conditions, because the Haitians are not going to self-deport to Haiti, because Haiti is chaotic right now. And they have no proper government. Should Haitians be prime applicants for asylum? Yes, because their government is refusing to help them, which is a major criteria for obtaining asylum here in the United States, amongst others. But their government is refusing and unable to help them. But they have to flee, and they still have to flee,
So let me ask you this, and I know we are, close to time. There's so many questions.
Right.
And, we still have friends in Haiti, they aren't all experiencing what's happening, in certain areas. But if someone ends up in a detention center, I can only imagine what that feels like, what that looks like. Any advice on how to help our friends navigate that space, and also safety tips like on health, because COVID is on the rise. I know with Nikki, she works in healthcare, and we were talking about that as well. Please feel free. Just trying to touch on all these questions, y'all.
No, I think it's important. Same thing. I think part of getting ready for a potential stay in a detention center is the preparation to that, right? And knowing that sometimes court dates or things being processed are not going to take days. They could take weeks or months. And having that in mind and having an honest conversation with your family of, if I end up there, how long am I willing to wait? How long are we willing to wait as a family until you are set free or given a bond or whatever it is? So I think those are really, really important, tough conversations to have right now, and to make sure that people are speaking about it, and more than anything preparing. Now in terms of the health, it's going to be it's already a huge health crisis, and we have people that are right now in detention center who are getting hepatitis A, hepatitis B, because right now one of the biggest issues is overcrowding. And that's going to be a major issue, and so we ask people to have their medical records also in place to see if they can get meds inside of the detention center and things like that. But all of this all of this, we can't stress it enough. It takes so much preparation, and everybody, instead of kind of waiting around to see what happens, we should all be getting ready just in case.
And can you also touch on, because you brought up a lot of great points, what resources does FIEL provide? And then how are you all helping mitigate fraud? Because I know that's a huge crisis that's happening right now.
Okay, so we're gonna need another 3.5 hours of the podcast.
I know, right? In just like 2 seconds.
To touch to touch the 10% of the iceberg of the fraud stuff. So no, what we have immigration attorneys that are reliable, that more importantly are honest. That are honest to make sure that a lot of the times we have to tell people there's nothing we can do for you. There's no you don't qualify for
and
anything.
That's the reality,
just wait, and that's the reality. But it's better to hear that than to hear what some of these attorneys, which I won't call out by name, but they go on TikTok and they say, "I'm the miracle attorney. It doesn't matter if you've been deported 15 times. I can get you your papers." If it's too good to be true, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So we ask the community to get various opinions from different attorneys and to make sure that they don't get scammed. And we're working with folks right now to make sure that they get good quality services and they're also not being lied to.
And just a quick warning, like I feel like in immigration law is the biggest area of immigration attorney scams. And it's because you're working with a vulnerable community and they are going to take your money and not do anything and sell you dreams that are not possible. And I don't know how many cases have come to me of being filed and then they're being asked to leave because they were not eligible for this form of relief because of this type of immigration history that they have. And the immigration attorney told them that they can do it and they never should have done that. So that's really important that you said that your agency has honest attorneys. We need more honest, ethical immigration attorneys. And if they're not just in it for the money, but they really and truly want to help. And you have to be honest because immigration is difficult and a lot of people, a lot of them are really not eligible for certain things because they wait till the last minute after it all accumulates.
Yeah.
It all accumulates
Now,
and it makes their case harder.
Now, my team will kill me if I don't say this, so I have to say this. This is why it's so important for anybody watching this to join an organization like Houston Haitians United, because they're going to be the folks that are going to bring you good quality information. They're going to vet folks. I know that they're and it's good. It's better to be in community and dealing with these things together than just being on your own in your own silo and being scared of everything. So everybody, I expect for you to join Houston Haitians United. They're doing a lot of great work in the community. So if you don't join them, I will come get your membership.
And one more thing, notarios are not attorneys. They're not attorneys. So if you go to a notario to do your immigration work, they're not giving you proper information if it's anything legal because they're not lawyers and they do not know what's going on legally. Really, they just know how to fill out an application.
Yeah, notaries or form fillers.
Yeah, they're form
people
fillers.
who.
I was gonna ask, like, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the Spanish community, notarios and English speaking, they may call them form fillers, but basically somebody just says who the community knows as somebody who can help you with your papers and fill out your papers for you, but they're actually not they're not a licensed attorney, and so a lot of times they don't know what's going on.
And this is different from a paralegal.
This is, I mean, it's somebody, I know sometimes people may even use that term as paralegal, but it's somebody who doesn't have a legal degree.
Well, they're notaries. And in
notaries,
those, in those Spanish-speaking countries in South America, notarios are lawyers. They're actually, the notaries, they're lawyers. They're licensed attorneys. So when coming into the United States, our notaries are not attorneys. They're just licensed notaries.
Interesting.
So that's the difference I have to always try to explain to Latin American community, that notarios are not lawyers in the United States. So in their country, you go to a notario and they're licenciados. They're attorneys. They're licensed attorneys. But here, they're not. You'll have attorneys that are licensed notaries, but they're also attorneys.
They're not one and the same.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we'll end with a call to action, and if maybe y'all can respond to this 30 seconds. If you could give one piece of advice to someone undocumented or in legal limbo listening right now, what would it be?
Mine would be go and get a consultation with an experienced immigration attorney. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait, until you're getting pulled over, or, as Alex said, as you have an ICE detainer. Don't wait until it's too late, because as we've mentioned, there are some people who are U.S. citizens and don't even know it. There are people that have legal pathways. There are different nuances in the law that does allow certain individuals to get help, and they may not know it. So get fully screened, because there are different humanitarian options available as well. And they're different. There's so many different things that I'm just thinking about in my head. So definitely go ahead and do that.
Mine is the same. Speak to a lawyer, because it's so important. Like, immigration is way too complex to rely on anybody else other than someone who's well versed in it and can help you navigate the process.
And then, real quickly on that, don't listen to it. Like, we get a lot of people that say, "Well, my cousin fixed that way, or
Yes.
my auntie fixed
So
that way."
important.
Every case is different,
Yeah.
and that's why it's really important for you to
Exactly.
check. And I already did my ask. Y'all need to join Houston Haitians United, because one of the things that people are like, I don't want to speak up, or I don't want to think. The tree falls in the forest, and there's nobody to hear it. That's it. The tree fell. But if we make so much noise that tree echoes all over the world, then we will get somewhere. So that's why it's so important to join advocacy organizations that are on the ground, talking to people, so that together we can say, we need to keep TPS, because Haiti is not ready to receive all those people
Right.
from TPS,
Yeah.
right? Neither is El Salvador or Honduras or all the other folks that have TPS. And that's why it's so important for us to keep it.
And if you are unsure about finding that good lawyer, as was advised,
That's why she's an HHU, y'all. That's why she's an HHU.
HHU has attorney, myself, and Shelly worked with HHU
Yes,
as well.
yes, you have.
Who can refer you to quality
Yes.
immigration attorneys and agencies that can assist you legally pro bono if you don't have the finances to seek legal help. So any type of nonprofit organization, if they can't take your case, they can refer you to other agencies or other reliable attorneys that can assist you.
And cut. That was. Thank you so much for joining us today for this important conversation. We're especially grateful to our guests for sharing their insights, and of course to HHU, Houston Haitians United,
Yep.
for creating this platform to uplift and inform our community. And again, it feels good to be back on the front lines, because I was the caboose working behind the scenes. So it's good to be back here. But y'all, immigration is not just a policy issue. It's a personal one that affects families, futures, and the fabric of our neighborhoods. To stay connected and learn more about HHU's initiatives, follow us on Instagram at HHUnited1804, or you can visit our website at HoustonHaitiansUnited.org. Jean-Michel, you're my current leader. Any remarks you have for us, sir?
Absolutely. I think this was an excellent show. A lot of information was provided, and I think it's definitely something that we could definitely revisit again and bring the people back. I'm sure there's a lot of
Absolutely.
questions that we didn't get a chance to touch.
It was a lot.
But a lot of information was provided, and I think this was really, really good. You probably see one more person that's missed out in this group right now, and that's Richard Alexander, our other board of director. So he's taking care of Daddy right now. So Rich, happy birthday to Fuelman, by the way, on this note. But no, this is your team here, and I think the ladies, Shelly, Attorney Shelly, as well as Attorney Alex, our legal, has done a fantastic job, as well as Cesar with Fiel. So these people will be part of us. So if any information that was shared here, and if you're interested to know more, you have other questions, please reach out to the organization. We could definitely share with you or provide you any kind of detail that you heard. And I think I wanted to also thank a bunch of the businesses that are supporting the migrant crisis, right? Because as people are experiencing these tragedies, right, you got people that are actually out there helping these people. I wanted to actually give a shout out. Somebody told me name Panu Laser and Vision Institute, Dr. Ali. People like that are doing services because they know that the, migrants are going through problems or suffering and they can't afford it, but they're willing to go out of their way to actually help them. So people like that, I think they need to be recognized and continue to support them. So thank you. I mean, we're going to be doing much more, James and Nikki. What do you guys have to share?
Yeah, well, I mean, just to copy you guys, get connected with HHU, like Oscar said. Cesar said, and just reach out to us if you have any questions. We will try our best to point you in the right direction. To get in contact with HHU, you can email us at info@HoustonHaitiansUnited.org, or the phone number here, 832-945-1448. And somebody will reach out and try to get the information for you, whatever you need. Just reach out to us. We're here to help. We're here for the community. So, but I also wanted to remark that was a great show. I appreciate Alex and Shell and Caesar for coming here and spending their time to do this with us, because this is very important information, and we're happy that we can get it out to the community.
Yeah, pas besoin moun yo pense que nous pas parler créole tout non. Nous
Oui, nous parlons créole.
Si moun si haïtien qui y a tande nous là qui pas penser que vous pas parler créole, nous parler créole. Mais est-ce que nous en Amérique, nous obligé parler en langue que tout le monde capable comprendre.
Oui.
But depuis les organisations contacter nous, n'a pas ba bonne information. Nikki qui ça encore?
Vraiment.
The biggest thing that I want to make sure that everybody knows is that we can't do this without the community. We love the opportunity to be able to have the podcast and be able to share the information. We can't do that without you. And so it's a community effort. I am a very, very big on the Combit idea, and we cannot do anything without our community. And so just reach out to us. We gave you all of our information. We will do our best to connect you with whoever you need to be connected to, but also connect to HHU.
Yeah, so we got some activities coming up. I think we want to share some of the information, right?
Yeah, we have coming up very soon, so pay attention to our website, www.HoustonHaitiansUnited.org. We have our back to school drive.
Annual back to school. Woohoo.
You
We
will
have
see
some
that.
special guests coming too, I heard.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for the date and the location. But right now, if you want to help out, if you just want to go ahead, you feel compelled to help out, we're accepting monetary donations for the school drive. So in the notes, just put back to school drive. You can click the link in our bio on our Instagram, or you can visit our website. And just make sure that you put back to school drive, and we'll make sure that those funds get appropriated for the back to school drive. And we had a scholarship. By the time this is posted, I'm not sure if the deadline's going to pass, but the deadline is August 1st. So
Apply, students, apply.
Yeah, hopefully we can get this podcast out before August 1st, so you guys can apply to make sure that the high school students who are of Haitian descent are getting a proper foot forward to start school.
Right, and we have to give a shout out to Creators Warehouse. Raymond is here. He's been a part of this team and making big things happen. Kind of got us on this projecting to kind of literally do a lot of good work in the city. So Raymond, thank you.
Y'all should see the studio. It's amazing. The
Definitely.
lighting.
Absolutely. Come
Black excellence.
Look
I
him
love
up.
it.
Look at the detail. I can see all my pores and everything. So look at the detail.
High definition.
Creators Warehouse.
Yes. Reach out to him.
They're definitely A+ when it comes to service. Raymond does a great job.
Yes. And he will work with you. He will work with you guys.
Oh, y'all, what about what's happening in October?
Oh.
Expression de Haiti. What's going on?
Go back.
Well, we have.
Let's get ready. Are you ready?
We better be ready, right? We better be ready. We do have a wonderful plan for Expression de Haiti.
I know Nikki's excited.
Y'all, I'm about to bust at the seams. Like, y'all have no idea.
Yeah.
But again, it is something that we cannot do without you. So if you want to help support by coming, if you want to support by helping us plan, continue to plan, definitely we'll welcome that. Haitians and otherwise, everybody, we want to make sure that this is a something for the community, that everybody can learn about our Haitian community, and our culture, and more than just food, more than just dancing. It is our life, and we want to make sure that everybody understands that we understands what Haiti is through our eyes.
Absolutely. So that means African Americans, any Caribbean, anybody that lives in the city, you are welcome. You don't have to be a Haitian to come to this event.
Or out of the city.
Come experience the good cuisine that Haiti have. Come experience the cultures, the vibes, the arts. You know, so we have so much to share in the city, and I don't want to keep it to ourselves. So it's very important that the city of Houston experience this great expose. Vini, Jean-Charles Abdia, Vini. So, ok, merci beaucoup. On l'autre fois encore avec Nap parler avec vous with HHU. So hopefully you can come join us again to participate in another great session of podcast, and maybe Shirley will join us again next time around. But so definitely great times, and we appreciate you guys. Stay connected with the organization. Restez branchés. Nous avons pile d'informations pour nous porter. Thank you.
Parlez pita.
Bye. Have a good one.
Everyone, I want to talk to you about the latest Haitian-owned restaurant in Houston. It's called Wisdom Bakery and Cafe. Yes, Wisdom Bakery and Cafe is Haitian-owned. And guess what? It's vegan. It is vegan. Listen, head to Wisdom Bakery and Cafe, which is 100% vegan cafe, serving up crave-worthy meals, desserts that fuel your lifestyle and honor the plant-based journey. Listen, this isn't just a regular vegan cafe. They have award-winning stuff. Like, listen, they are the top 10 vegan restaurants in the USA from Happy Cows. They are from Restaurant Gurus. They are named Best Vegan Cafe in Spring, Texas. From Veg News, they're third place in Best Vegan Cafe in 2023. Hey, this organization, this group is not a joke. You know, Vegan Bakery and Cafe in Spring, Texas is where you can go and you can have a plant-based diet and enjoy yourself and feel comfortable. Whether you're vegan or just vibing with the moment, Wisdom is a must. Wisdom, real food, rooted in purpose. Last but not least, everyone, thank you for tuning into the podcast. But we want to do a special shout out to our corporate members, which you will see here. Here are all our corporate members who help HHU keep going. We appreciate you.